everybody, it's Justine, and today I'm going to have a little chat about design teams if you're interested in joining me and kind of hanging out here for a little while. So, design teams, I've been asked a lot, what are design teams? How do you get on the design teams and things like that? So, I'm going to give you kind of my tips and tricks for the industry, and whether you agree with me or not, let me know in the comments what you think. All right, so a design team is usually a team of people. It's either for a stamping company or a challenge blog, and you're responsible for designing cards or whatever it is that they're looking for that company with a specific either theme or technique or product or stamp in mind. So you're responsible usually a couple of times a month for designing something for that company or that challenge blog, and in return, you generally get either you get some more exposure, you get your name out there, you get design team experience, you'll probably get a lot new followers because you're engaging in a whole new audience. And then if you are designing for a stamping company or a product company, generally you're getting a little bit of free product in return to try out and use. So, the pros of being on a design team, there are many pros. So, one of them is definitely the free product. For me, it was really great to be getting some of the product that I was already buying anyway for free. And it was really great to have my designs out there. It was really exciting to get some recognition for my artwork and things like that. So that's one of the things. The other thing is definitely getting some more followers, some more readers on your blog, and boosting those numbers. Also, the friends I've made in the industry are definitely a big pro and an unexpected pro of being on design teams. I never expected to meet the people I have met before, and I have a really great networking in the crafty community. And for me, a design team, the most important thing about being on a design team and the most positive aspect for me personally as a crafter is having a focus. So I'm one of those people, I follow every company, I love what they're doing, I see things, I want to buy things and things like that. And for me, it was just generally a focus saying, okay, these are the products that you're working with today because you have a deadline coming up. And that focus for me was a really positive thing. Now, some of the cons that people have in the industry, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're the cons for me, but if you're one of those people that looks at time versus return, that might be a con for you in designing. So if you're one of those people that takes hours to make a card and things like that, and you're doing it for the free product, you think to yourself, well, I just spent, I don't know, 10 hours from start to finish on a card and blogging about it and doing a video or whatever the case is, the requirements for the design team. You might think to yourself, well, one stamp set a month or two is not really worth my time in that sense. So that might be, it just depends on your mentality and how you think of it and what you want out of the industry with your channel, your blog, and whatever, as to whether that's a con for you. Another thing is that you might have to use a product or do a technique that isn't your style. So you know that when you look at a release from a new company, you know that not every stamp you're going to buy. Generally, that's the case. There are a few stamps that really speak to you, and those are the ones you want to use. Now, with designing for a specific stamp company or a challenge, you're now limited and to those products, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, you might actually sit there and have a creativity block. And a lot of people find that really draining when something doesn't creatively speak to them and they have to use it. So that's definitely a con in the industry, and it has been something that I have experienced in the past. And the last thing is it's a lot of work and you got to love what you do. Between designing the card, writing the blog post, if you are a video maker, editing the video and uploading, presenting it on social media, engaging with people who are commenting on your things, and constantly staying engaged on your own social media channels in order for you to grow and the company to grow through you and vice versa, it is a lot of work and you have to love it and want to do it. So my experience in being in the industry is I have both positive and negative experience of being on design teams. I know what I like in a design team, and generally that's the ones that I end up staying with, or I was let go from design teams because they were just looking for some new blood, or whatever the case is. I just wanted to say that there are positive and negative experiences I hear throughout the craft industry, and I have to say that I'm extremely lucky to say that 99% of mine were very positive experiences and really great teams to design for. Now, with that being said, what are design team coordinators looking for when they're picking their design teams? So if you want to apply for a design team, generally there's two ways of doing that. So either a company will have an open design team call where you apply by email and answer a couple of questions, or There are companies that don't do that and just hand pick. Now, the only way you can get on a hand chosen design team is to constantly be using their product, tagging them in social media, showing them that you're enthusiastic about their product. And then in the end, they have to just really like what you're doing and also need a new design team member in order to choose you. So it just depends. But if you apply for one, there are some simple things, in my opinion, that you have to make sure that you have in order to be chosen for a design team. Now, one of those is photography. Clear pictures and big pictures. When I go onto a blog and I see big sidebars and things like that, and really a lot of distracting things, and your pictures are this big and I can hardly see them, then what's the point of your blog? Your blog is to show off your cards. So make sure your cards are big. Click that extra large. Don't be afraid to make really big pictures. The other thing is take your cards into natural light. You don't need fancy card equipment. I just have an iPhone and I photograph generally outside in a shaded area, and that is how I get my photography. But if I see really dark photos and that are not really showing off your artwork, then that's a turn off for a blog for sure. And the last thing is just make sure you're regular posting on things. So, and try to focus on one area at first and build up your following. It's generally a positive thing when you have a big following on some sort of social media or a decent following that's engaged. Now I'm going to show you a blog quickly here, and you can see me there in the corner now, I believe, and I am going to show you a blog that I find quite fabulous. It's a crafty friend of mine, and she has been absolutely amazing in applying for design teams and really getting onto those design teams. So I'm going to show you here exactly what I would look at as a design team coordinator. So I have the experience in picking my own team. I'm the design team coordinator at So Susie Stamps. So I have the experience of hand choosing my team. And there were some things that really stick out on certain people's blogs that I wanted to show you that are really easy. I'm going to show you now Kimona's blog and go through it with you. So as you can see, Kimona's blog, there's nothing super distracting. She has one sidebar, which I recommend for every single blog, just having one sidebar with her information. Everything is very clean and simple and very modern looking. There's nothing distracting about the background. I always find busy backgrounds really difficult to read, and they distract from your artwork. So my recommendation is to just go on a whole bunch of blogs and see what you like and what you don't like, and make sure that you're not doing those things that you don't like. Because generally, if you don't like them, a lot of people are not going to like them. So her information is very clear here up at the top. What is really cool I like is that I can click on her social media links. They're all here on the side. And I can see, is she posting often? What is she involved in? Is she involved lots in social media? Does she have engagement on her social media? What's she going to bring to the company? The other thing I would be looking for is, are you posting regularly? I had a lot of people apply for the design team that had only had 3 blog posts. Well, I don't really get a feel for your blog, your style, or anything if you only have a couple of blog posts. So make sure you're posting regularly. Doesn't mean every day, because I know Kimona posts pretty much every day because she's involved in that many teams. But make sure you're posting once a week even, or once every 2 weeks even, but be consistent in it. So I can see from Kimona's blog the amazing work that she does. I can see a little bit about herself. I can see her titles are clear. She's using graphics from the companies. Her pictures, you can see her pictures are absolutely gorgeous. They're bright. There's nothing distracting in them. They're very pretty. And she has her watermark. I can see that she's linking back to the stores for the products that she's using. So she's promoting that store. She's showing you what she's using, exactly how she's making the card. And I can see that she's posting on a regular basis. She's posting sneak previews, which is not necessary, but I'm seeing that she's really getting that hype about her next card. And she's in Blog Hop. She has experience. I can see she has absolutely gorgeous photography. I can see how many challenges she's won on the side. I can see the design team she's already involved with. And I can see here that just in general, there's no red flags. There's nothing weird about her blog. There's nothing telling me that I shouldn't be choosing her for my design team. Her artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's unique, and overall everything looks really amazing in her photography. So that's pretty much how you would go about choosing a design team. And just I wanted to say a couple last things and a couple little pointers about applying for a design team and getting involved in design teams. If you haven't been on one before, apply to one and see what happens. When you get onto one team, see how much that adds to your workload if you enjoy being a part of the design team, and then go from there. Don't apply for a design team just because you want to be on a design team. You have to make sure that you can work well with their product, that their product inspires you, that you agree with the way that they handle themselves in the industry. Another thing I am noticing quite often in the crafting industry are some rival companies, I guess you could say. So, some companies that disagree with the practices of others. And being on one of those teams can limit you in the design teams that you're chosen for. So, make sure that that company has a good and positive attitude and a good standing within the crafting community. Most of them do. So, you don't really have to worry about that. So, once again, don't just be a design team junkie, as I'm going to call it. Just make sure that you're applying for things that you really want to be a part of and that you can handle the workload, because don't spread yourself too thin, because that really destroys the quality of your blog and your channel and things like that. Make sure that it's things you want to design with and that they inspire you. And the last thing, if you want to learn more about the business side of the perspective, so what companies are looking for when choosing a design team and what they're expecting from you, head on over to the link below in my video description. So Susie Stamps had started a podcast, and it's a really amazing thing to listen to on your way to work or in your free time or while you're crafting. She has a couple of podcasts out already on choosing your style of card making and also selling your cards. And this week, she's focusing on design teams and what companies are expecting from their design teams, what they're looking for, what their goal is in having a design team and having you on their design team. So be sure to check that out. There's lots of really useful information, and we're kind of collaborating on this together. So it would be wonderful if you could subscribe to that. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If I've left anything out, or you want to know any other information on being a design team, or if there's anything you don't agree with or agree with on the video, just leave a comment below. I generally get back to you quite quickly, and I would love to discuss it with you. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this time hanging out with me here in my room and talking about design teams. Thanks. Bye.